York Times is reporting that the GOP, specifically Trump-related operatives, had infiltrated various Democratic groups in the West in an effort to destroy their chances of ensuring their candidates win, but more importantly, ensuring that Donald Trump had the upper hand in the 2020 election. What's fascinating about this story isn't just the fact that the operatives had infiltrated the Democratic organizations in Western states, but that they were also trying to infiltrate Republican groups that just weren't loyal to Donald Trump enough, so-called moderate Republican groups. So let me give you the details on what they found. Large donations to the Democratic National Committee, $10,000 each, had brought Bo Mayer and Sophia LaRocca, tickets to the Democratic debate in Las Vegas. So this couple gives a massive donation to the DNC, and then they're able to go to the Democratic primary debate that took place in Las Vegas. But Mayer and LaRocca were part of an undercover operation by conservatives to infiltrate progressive groups, political campaigns, and the offices of Democratic as well as moderate Republican elected officials during the 2020 election cycle. Using large campaign donations and cover stories, the operatives aimed to gather dirt that could sabotage the reputations of people and organizations considered threats to a hard right agenda advanced by President Donald Trump. So here's the couple posing in a cutesy little picture in Las Vegas on the day that the Democratic debate, primary debate took place for the 2020 elections. And they look like a lovely couple, right? And the Democratic Party was unsuspecting of the fact that they were actually pro-Trump Republican operatives that were looking to dig up dirt on the Democratic Party and progressives and progressive groups who were also, of course, trying to get their preferred candidate elected, and that was Senator Bernie Sanders. Now, at the center of the scheme was an unusual cast, a former British spy connected to the security contractor Eric Prince, and Susan Gore, a wealthy heiress to the gore-tex fortune. Publicly available documents in Wyoming also tied Mayer and LaRocca to an address in Cody used by the former spy, the British spy, Richard Seddon. Okay, so Richard Seddon plays a huge role in this effort. So what exactly happened? What did Seddon do? Well, Seddon aided a network of conservative activists trying to discredit perceived enemies of Trump inside the government, including a planned sting operation in 2018 against Trump's national security advisor at the time, H.R. McMaster, and helping set up secret surveillance of FBI employees and other government officials. Prince had set Seddon's work in motion, recruiting him around the beginning of the Trump administration to hire former spies to train conservative activists in the basics of espionage and send them on political sabotage missions. So that's pretty serious. And the way that this couple actually ended up getting caught was they weren't so great in making up the stories, right? So sometimes their claims wouldn't add up. You know, they would say things about why they were missing in action on some issues by making up a story, of course, and then changing the story later. So at one point, the Democratic Party in Wyoming decided to start like slowly but surely restricting LaRocca's access to the party's email system. And that was a smart thing to do. But mind you, they were blinded by the fact that this couple donated a large sum of money to the DNC. And so when you are fueled and when you're funded by various interests, when fundraising tends to be the most important thing in our political system, it's easy to be duped when someone provides a massive campaign contribution or a massive contribution to the Democratic Party. And so that's a problem, obviously, not only for the Democratic Party and our political system, but but also it's a problem for the couple, because if they had made campaign donations or political contributions and then were reimbursed by an organization, Republicans, whatever, whoever was helping them pay for those contributions, that's illegal. That's what that dopey guy went to prison for. What's his name again? The one who's done a bunch of those movies. You guys will remember. The one he was close with Ann Coulter. All right, we'll figure it out. I just totally blanked on his name, but there was a Republican operative who actually did end up going to prison as a result of that, and then later Trump had pardoned him. Now, let me give you some of their other tactics. So Seddon also secures the funding to do these operations from this Wyoming heiress. I mentioned her before, that's Susan Gore. She's very wealthy, very much against legalizing marijuana. For some reason, that's like the hill that she wants to die on. So she was very much involved in funding these operations, but she also has a long history of financing the Republican Party or any type of conservative effort that goes along with her views. One of the things that Sofia LaRocca did was she took a picture with a Democratic candidate who didn't end up winning a congressional seat that she ran for in Wyoming. And this was actually for the Wyoming legislature. The woman that she's pictured with is Marcy Kindred. Again, she didn't end up winning. But what was interesting was that Sofia LaRocca took this photo with her and then immediately posted it on Facebook as her profile picture. Right, and so that was another trick to make it seem like she was supportive of Democratic candidates. And Marcy Kindred said about that whole incident, it was kind of odd that she put it on Facebook. We weren't really that close. Now it makes total sense. She was playing the long game, trying to be my friend in the hopes of me getting into the legislature. And if she had gotten into the legislature, and if they had a close relationship, maybe there's a possibility to get some personal information about her, dig up dirt about her, and slowly but surely destroy members of the Democratic Party, both on a local level, because this is the Wyoming legislature, but also on a national level as well with some of these national politicians. And then all of a sudden, the couple just disappeared. Right before the November election, Mayer and LaRocca disappeared on October 21st. She wrote an email to her boss saying that she had to leave the country, writing, quote, "I have a family emergency and am going to Venezuela as my grandmother is gravely ill." Others she had worked with and befriended over 2 years said they had not heard from her in months. But the New York Times actually found that in fact, the couple never left the area. Mayer and Seddon have also been working together on a business venture importing ammunition from overseas, according to a business document linking the two men that was obtained by the Times. By a document obtained by the Times. So money in politics has all sorts of ramifications. Certainly when it comes to the policies that end up getting passed, but also when it comes to luring in Democratic lawmakers or Democratic organizations by Republican operatives or right-wing operatives, right? And they didn't just focus on Democrats here. They also focused on moderate Republicans as well, all in an effort to help Donald Trump. And by the way, where did these operatives come from? Project Veritas. So that whole organization is involved in all of this as well. So I think that people need to be smart, not just official Democratic organizations, but I see a lot of fascinating infighting with the left online. And just be careful when people tell you who they are and what they stand for and what they represent, because you can get away with a lot. And not everyone on the other end of that social media platform is being honest about their identity or honest about what they stand for. So I think it's okay to be skeptical. It's okay to have your eyes open. But more importantly, if you notice that there is a clear effort to sow division, if there's a clear effort to start conflict, ask yourselves why. Why is the least powerful group in this country, and those are the leftists, why are members of that group starting stuff for no reason and harping on it nonstop, week after week, month after month? Why do they want to sow division? I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little too suspicious, but don't believe everything you read on the internet. Be smart, because these operatives infiltrating groups, it's a thing. It actually does happen. And it's clear that it happens. We've seen it happen on social media with right-wing marketing campaigns posing as socialists. That was a story that we talked about in regard to Facebook just a few weeks ago. So keep your eyes out, listen to evidence, read. And when I say read, I don't mean read Twitter feeds, I mean read actual credible reporting, and just be smart. Because we gotta protect ourselves, and there are all sorts of nefarious figures that are well funded out there who have every interest to destroy any movement that goes against their corporate backers. All right, and then I got a text message from Brett. I wanna make sure I give you guys that name. Dinesh D'Souza. Dinesh D'Souza, that was what he went to prison for. Dinesh D'Souza was making campaign contributions on behalf of others, and it's a crime. That's why I went to prison. He's a criminal.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.